So I'm very excited to do this show because we are talking about good books for history, and they are the best way to introduce yourself and your kids to the events of history. And the best part is they don't have to be boring. So history is exciting because you discover that truth really is stranger than fiction. And if you use good books for history, then it becomes an exciting adventure. And you can even add these books to your homeschool curriculum or read them aloud. Through history books, your kids can dive into the past, meet key figures, and experience pivotal moments in ways that textbooks alone often fail to deliver. Now, don't get me wrong, I love textbooks and homeschool all in one curriculum, but I also love to add good books to the to be read pile. If you want to create a well rounded and dynamic homeschool, then add good books for history. Okay, fiction or nonfiction? What is the best way to read good history books? Should you only read nonfiction books? Or can historical fiction fit into the list? The answer is both. Historical fiction is my favorite way to introduce historical topics because of the stories hook readers and pique interest. Now, I love history, and most topics I started with historical fiction. Then my curiosity demanded that I find out more, which got me reading nonfiction on these topics. Now, I know some people struggle with creative license when it comes to true events, and I totally understand. One of my favorite shows is The Crown. I really enjoy watching it. My husband gets completely annoyed by it because he knows that some things aren't true or accurate. Now, I also want to know what is actually true and what was creative license, so I read the books, which actually makes watching the show more enjoyable because I do know what is true and what is creative license. But don't let it stop you and don't stop at just the historical fiction. So, the fictional books are a great way to get to know a new topic and then take a deeper dive on it. Learning is an ever moving process. You will never read one book or and become an expert. So, combine engaging storytelling of historical fiction with the factual retelling of nonfiction, and you will get the best of both worlds. Okay, so now here are some 15 books, 15 good history books, and they are in no particular order. But these books will enhance your homeschool curriculum because it's always fun to get some book recommendations. All right, so number one is Step into Reading a History Reader. So these are some of my favorite books for young readers, and it's a great way to start learning history. I prefer books instead of textbooks in the kindergarten to second grade, at least. And they are these books make a great tool to learn history, but also to use for reading. And you can learn about the Titanic or Babe Ruth or the story of Balto. So the series covers so many topics, you probably won't run out of books to read. And before we get any further in, you're going to have to go to the website for all the links. So be sure to click the link in the description below if one of these books just excites you to no end. All right, number two, Getting to Know the World's Greatest Artists. So this is one of my favorite series. You can read these books, but you can also add an artist unit study for this series. Show notes below. So I love seeing how art intersects with the events of history, and the series is a great way to add to your book history stack. So learn about Impressionism with Claude Monet, or take an adventure into Cubism with Pablo Picasso, and learn about one of America's greatest artists with Georgia O'Keeffe. Number three, the I Survived series. So my boys have really enjoyed the series. Once you get past the picture book phase, this is a great series to learn about history. Learn about Pearl Harbor or even the Black Death and the Battle of Gettysburg. And the best part is they also have graphic novels. If you have a reluctant reader, graphic novels are the best way to get them reading. So you can learn about the American Revolution, the Nazi invasion, and D-Day. Number four, the American Girl series. So this was one of my favorite series growing up, and it should definitely be part of your history to be read pile. So my favorite characters were Molly and Felicity. From the New American Girls, I do like Kit and Mary Ellen. So it's a great way to kind of get an idea of different time periods. Number 5, Member of the Stars. So this is an historical fiction book that is well worth the read. It is a well-written book and introduces the topic of what was happening in Europe during World War II. Number 6, Little House on the Prairie, because it is impossible to write a list of good books for history and not list Little House on the Prairie. And the best part is you can get chapter books or the My First Little House books collection, which is the series in picture book form. Number 7, Adventures in Odyssey, the Imagination Station series. Your kids will experience an unforgettable journey around the world and back in time. And these are great historical fiction books, especially if you love Adventures in Odyssey. And I mean, I still listen to Adventures in Odyssey, and I have since I was a teenager. Okay. That was my confession. Anyway, number 8 is the Lightkeeper series, and it's the 10 Boys Who. This is such an excellent series. I like the fact that each biography is one chapter, so it's easy to read to your kids. And these definitely need to be on your list. And it's 10 Boys Who Saved the World. I can't remember all of them, but it's like 4 books in the series. And they also have number 9, 10 Girls. So get the whole series with 10 Girls Who, and you learn about Susanna Wesley, Ruth Graham Bell, and so many more. Number 10, The War That Saved My Life. Now, my daughter really enjoyed reading this book, and it's a great book to introduce the topic of World War II from the perspective of a child. Number 11, Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales. And these historical nonfiction graphic novels have been a hit with all my boys so far. I'm buying my second series because they don't want to share. But hey, I can't blame them. So if you have a reluctant reader, I highly recommend graphic novels. They very much, my oldest son, who really enjoyed them, wants to keep his sets pure. And now my 11-year-old is really into them. So he wants his own set as well. So I can see them keeping those books for a long time. Number 12, Brooch Co. So explore the Amazon jungles with this true story of a missionary reaching the unreached people groups in South America. This is a great high school read, and it will seriously have you on the edge of your seat. um, 13, 7 Women and the Secrets of Their Greatness, and 7 Men and the Secret of Their Greatness. If you want to learn about what makes some men and women great, then read the lives of 7 Women and the Secret to Their Greatness and 7 Men and the Secret to Their Greatness. Read them both. Excellent books. Number 14, Life and Death in Shanghai. So if you want your high school students to learn more about China, then this memoir is a great way to study the Cultural Revolution. It is a riveting retelling of the life of Nine Chang. And I probably didn't say that right. But it's definitely, I had my oldest son read it, and he was on the edge of his seat. 15, O Jerusalem by Larry Collins and Dominique Lapierre. So this is a nonfiction retelling of Israel becoming a state. If you want to better understand the happenings of the Middle East, this is a must read. You have so many good history books on your reading list now. And really, this is such an easy way to add history to your homeschool curriculum. So with these 15 good books for history, you can add dynamic and engaging stories to your homeschool, cultivate a deep appreciation and understanding of the complexities of historical events, because they are complex. So be sure to click the link below and grab one of these books now. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out lifeunboxed.blog and download your Rebel Moms checklist. And happy homeschooling and working from home. And I will see you next time.